On Thursday, May 16th, City Square partnered with the NAACP and Paul Quinn College to host a Mayoral Forum with runoff candidates Eric Johnson and Scott Griggs. The event was free to the neighbors who packed the auditorium and engaged with candidates. City Square Skip Court participants were also in attendance. They stood proudly to tell their story and ask questions of the candidates. One participant, DeAndre Wade, even walked away from the forum with a job offer from a local startup. He took the offer and is still working there today. Nearly 2 months after the forum, DeAndre graduated from the Skip Court program. His friends and family attended a ceremony at City Square Opportunity Center, led by case manager Melita Strong. Skip is a 9 to 18-month pretrial community court for felonies and misdemeanors. Now that DeAndre is graduated, his record will be expunged and he will be able to find opportunities such as schooling, financial loans, and future employment, which would not otherwise be available to him. City Square External Affairs recently published our 4th episode of Urban Engagement Podcast. It marks part 1 of a 2-part interview with author, columnist, and political thought leader Jim Suits. Other guests have included author J.R. Newton, a lifelong poverty fighter and community health advocate who works right here at City Square, and community leader Richard Miles, who was wrongfully incarcerated for 15 years before being freed and forming a nonprofit to help others in his situation. Full episodes as well as bonus content are available on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. City Square Urban Engagement Book Club has grown more popular than ever. Meetings have been filled to capacity during the first half of 2019. Neighbors and community members who can't attend meetings can visit our website to view the presentations. Our book club meetings have been going on for nearly 2 decades. City Square's External Affairs team is proud to continue this long, successful tradition of engaging and informing the community. City Square External Affairs is raising our voices on the behalf of our neighbors. Vice President of External Affairs, Gerald Britt, recently published an op-ed in the Dallas Morning News advocating for more action to address the root causes of what is quickly becoming a record year of violence in our city. City Square's External Affairs team intends to continue monitoring and speaking about this epidemic of violence. In addition to hosting the Urban Engagement Podcast, Reverend Britt also visited the Good God podcast for a discussion about racial justice with host George Mason, a pastor, theologian, and national leader in the Baptist Church. The discussion can be found by visiting goodgodproject.com. For the past 2 decades, City Square has taken a leading role in advocating for participation among our neighbors in the U.S. Census, which takes place every 10 years. The 2020 census has already triggered controversy and a Supreme Court case as the current administration attempts to include a question regarding citizenship. External Affairs kicked off its 2020 census campaign with a message from Reverend Britt during our May podcast. You can find that episode as well as updates on the SCOTUS ruling at citysquareadvocacy.org. As the census grows closer, our team will continue to provide updates and resources to help ensure our neighbors are counted and accurately represented. City Square's External Affairs team recently took a leading role in successfully calling for Dallas ISD's Board of Trustees to approve a 13-cent tax ratification election. The TRE gives voters the opportunity to infuse $116 million in additional operating revenue. This revenue will maintain strategic initiatives like early learning, increased teachers and staff pay, and protections against expected budget cuts at the state level. Chaired by Reverend Gerald Britt, the Strong School, Strong Dallas Coalition, which includes numerous organizations across North Texas, supports these priorities to strengthen equity and accountability in our community. In line with those values and DISD's commitment to racial equity, we are asking the Board of Trustees to consider directing additional resources to the district's historically under-resourced and highest needs schools. City Square's External Affairs team has also partnered with InvestEd Texas to pressure lawmakers into passing HB 3 during the 2019 state legislative session. The bill provided $6.5 billion to improve public education plus $5.1 billion to lower tax in local school districts. Our team visited Austin numerous times during the legislative session to speak in favor of the bill with lawmakers. Reverend Brisk also co-authored an op-ed with Dan Hooper, Executive Director of Scholarshot, supporting HB 3 and outlining its positive impact on impoverished students. The legislation passed unanimously in both the Texas House and Senate.